In this video, we're going to talk about special features, mostly opacity, since we previously covered bump in the video on basic parameters. I'm starting out with a sprite who is pink. I'm going to increase this to 1. And I'm going to show you how to use this opacity cutout map to literally cut out objects in your characters. Now, it works exactly the same way when you do masking in Photoshop. You work with black to make something completely see-through, completely transparent, and white to make it completely opaque. And opacity cutout map does that. You can work with a color, and it works the same way. If you apply a color, if it's white, your object is completely opaque. If it's black, I'm just going to do this so you can see. Change it to black, and you can see what happens over right here immediately. It goes completely invisible. All I see are eyes and a couple of shadows. If it's somewhere in between, if it's a shade of gray, it works just like the opacity does in the standard. You can now see through the object in the shade of gray. I personally prefer to work with transmission to get opacity because I don't lose my contrast. You see, the contrast is gone in this. He's very, very flat. And it may be something you want to work together with between your transmission and your opacity. You may need to work with both of them together to get a see-through object that works for your style. Okay, so I'm going to change this back to white as my default. And I'm going to show you where the real magic is, which is right here where we're going to work with a map or an image. I'm going to select an image, and I'm going to pick this dot pattern that I downloaded. And you can already see the magic happening here, but we'll render this out. And you see that wherever there were dots, he has holes in him. Obviously they're stretched because we haven't yet applied our UV map modifier, so I'm going to do that. Select him here and pull down my UV map modifier. Sorry, my cat is talking to the geese who are outside the the sliding glass window, pecking for corn. The mother goose, the Canada geese, has taught her offspring, she's got 5 kids, that if they come over and peck on the glass, all of them at the same time, they'll get corn. And it's my fault. I should have ignored them, but they're so cute. Can't help myself. And they're getting big. So anyway, cat's talking to the geese. All right, so I've now applied my UV map. Whoops, I didn't change it to box. Sorry about that. That's pretty cool, though. That's one really cool thing about this UV map. Sometimes you just never know what it's going to do, and it ends up creating something interesting. All right, so I want a box because we know that box works for this. Okay, and that is exactly the map that I applied to it, right? It's got the holes in it. You can work with the different. Let's see what cylindrical does, if it makes it more. Yeah, it wraps it better. So in this case, cylindrical wraps it, but it stretches the holes. I'm going to try converting it from XYZ to UVW. Ooh, it makes it a whole bunch of little bitty holes. It's pretty cool. Oh, nope, now they're gone. Okay, so that didn't work at all. And let's try shrink wrap. Not what I'm looking for. Box still does the best. Okay. So now we have cutouts, holes, full see-through, full transparency where the black is, and where the white is, we have full opacity. Now if this was some shade of gray, and I'm going to attach one to show you, I'm going to use this specular crystal map here. This is what it does. Just change my map to something that is black, white, and shades of gray. And this is what ends up happening. Anything that's white on the map stays full opacity, so I can see my red. Anything that's black is completely see-through, So I'm seeing the background. And anything that's gray is a level of value in between. It's pretty cool, actually. Kind of like an other dimensional being that's camouflaged. That's pretty cool. It also works, I'm going to show you another one. It also works with color. Let's see. Here's one I haven't used before. And it just converts the color value into the grayscale value. So it actually just tonal contrast, same as it works with color and gray and white, applies here. Pretty cool. Still thinking about it. But wherever it was black, we can completely see through it. Wherever it was white, it's still the base color because it's opaque. And shades of gray are some level of transparency in between. So that's a lot of fun. You got a lot of really creative, interesting characters with that. It's still processing. The blue that you see is just it processing. There we go. That's actually pretty cool. And one last one. And this is just some random dots. Oh, that's not as cool. Okay, so that's how you work with that special feature, opacity cutout. I'm going to delete this so we can talk about the others. Return him to normal here. We're actually not going to work with tangents. It's much more advanced, complicated stuff. It has to do with tangent maps, and in this case, we're not using those for this. Normal bump we've covered. Just very quickly again, if we apply, if we go to this, I've been working with this bump 3D that I prefer. You can work with any of these other ones. It does also work with the bitmap, and then you just attach your image here. Well, actually, I'm going to use my black and white. Let's use black and white. I'm changing this to, no, I'm leaving that on. Changing the auto to sRGB. And then I'm going back up, pull down menu here, go back to my previous map. And you want to drag and drop this into every slot as an instance. Okay, and this is how much am I applying my bump map. This is the bump height. Epsilon has to do with noise. I'm not going to have a noise problem, so I'm not going to mess with that. And then my normal is similar to displacement that we've previously used in 2400. So I'm going to give it a little bit. And then I'm going to render this out. And you can see I have some bumps on my character. Now let's do it negative. No, positive. Okay. And I'm just going to move these values higher so you can see what it does. Just gives it some texture. Now, if you're going to really zoom in on your character, you're going to want to model those things. Remember, bump mostly works for objects that are in your mid-ground to your distance, or you're kind of close to that you want to have some texture. It's not going to make these really protrude, but it's just going to give me that slight texture that's enough to create the illusion and the appearance of texture. And I'm going to do a little bit with buildings. So I will show you guys how this works for those mid-range buildings. But I've been working with this, and this is the one I prefer. Let me change the map to a different one. And so you can see. It should have updated it, but I think that maybe just be way too high. Just freaking it out. I'm not seeing a whole lot of change here. Let's bring these normals down. And also remember, I did not apply this. It works better if you apply it as your base color. It really helps cause that material, without that bump, it falls flat, just creates that little bit of a texture or illusion from a distance. Okay, and so those are two special features: cutout and bump. Let me know if you have any questions.